Missy says, Look, they don't think that you're just smoking. Obviously, you were just bullied into grabbing the marijuana, the bong, because you can't stand up for yourself. But, what? Just let it go, Zane. Okay. Alright.
If you want some, go ahead and have it, Missy.
He says, Oh no, I'm good. I have to keep all of my faculties about me. Missy
Sure.
points over a thumb at Zane.
Sure, yeah, I understand.
Zane says, That's right, she's keeping watch, not having realized what Missy really meant.
Mm-hmm.
Missy says, Yep, I'm up here to help.
Gotta keep her eye on things.
Yeah, and she does a great job at it, too.
She sure does.
Wait a second. Zane slowly turns his head to look at Eugene. What does that mean?
What's what mean?
What?
What?
What do you mean she's keeping her eye on things and she's doing a good job?
I mean, she's keeping her eye on things and she's doing a good job.
What does that mean?
What does it sound like it means?
Sounds like you're implying something that's like subtext or whatever.
And you're afraid you don't get the subtext.
I was saying that's an awful big word for you.
Can you explain it to me?
The subtext that you think might be there?
Yes.
Nope, I'll leave that one at Missy's court.
Zane looks over at Missy. Missy shakes her head. Zane suspiciously looks back at Eugene.
Eugene smiles at him.
Wait a second. You tricked me.
Into thinking that there was subtext?
Yeah. No, wait.
Must have.
They don't really bleach paper, do they?
They do.
Really?
Yep.
It's weird.
Well, no, they need to be nice and white so that the ink shows up on it really well.
The ink shows up on brown paper.
Not as well. Contrast, motherfucker.
Does that mean they dye toilet paper too?
Yep. Which,
Why?
admittedly, that is kind of weird.
Huh. I mean, if it was gonna be shit paper, then...
Yeah, that's weird.
Huh. So soft, too.
I guess they want to make it look clean so it's white.
Why does that matter?
Because you don't want to rub dirty stuff on your butt.
Don't we do that anyway?
Yeah, but you don't want to think you're doing it.
How do people not think they're doing it?
I don't know. Most people don't think about things.
Yeah, I don't like those people.
Potman just gives a shit-eating grin and avoids eye contact.
Missy barely bites back laughter. People just... They're not really curious about the world, you know?
Yeah, they don't ask questions.
Zane gets an introspective look again. And then spins around and looks outward from the roof.
And then his head explodes. Oh, sniper.
Alright. That should be sufficient enough time for the three driving and the little import to make their way to Artesia. It is right outside the outskirts of Fort Drake, maybe 11 miles, not 15. Pulling in, Artesia looks much as you left it, with the bodies decaying as they are in the streets. Of course, the jail looks a little rough if you peek your head in there, with all of those girls who were killed in the cell by Fletch and his katana.
Yeah, that. All right. So let's fill this here bucket that I brought along with us.
Yep, the artesian well continues to flow nicely.
Yeah.
It does have a stopper on it, which you can easily uncork, and then the water comes streaming through.
All right. And then we'll place the water pump over that as
Okay.
best we can, because you're never going to have a perfect fit with a jury-rigged piece of crap. And then we're going to we're going to angle the PVC hoses towards the bucket, and then we're going to splice in the car battery that we brought along, and hope to God it doesn't blow up in my face.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, just gonna keep an eye out on everything else as he starts up the presumably noisy water pump.
The jury-rigged, noisy components spring to life. Through the hose, water goes, filling the bucket.
Told you it'd work. Yeah, it's probably not whiffling the bucket very quickly, though.
It actually goes at a good speed. The artesian well water, whenever you uncork that stopper, does go at a pretty good clip. And with the power there, that actually propels it through the hose rather nicely. It's not like you turning on a faucet at full blast. We'll say half power.
Alright. Yeah, so about 2 minutes later, we have a full bucket of presumably clean and safe to drink water.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Is that a good enough test?
Ace shrugs.
I mean, I drink this water. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah?
He says, I don't know what that accomplished, that just uncorking the damn thing and filling a bucket wouldn't. We've been doing that for a while. The trick is getting that water using your pump into that 8,500 gallon tanker.
That's what I was missing. Don't worry, I got it. I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
I know how to
Yeah,
fix
we-
it, I swear!
Yeah, that's the idea. Like, we were able to fill the buckets and, empty milk jugs all right by coming here. It's the fact that you would have needed the force to propel the water, especially, into that massive tanker.
Yeah. I think I have an idea of it. It's not even like rearranging the design. It's just adding more PVC pipe.
Okay. Yeah.
You just add more PVC pipe until it gets up to the. I mean, I distinctly remember getting like 50 feet of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. You got enough to make it work.
Yeah, it's just gonna look weird,
Probably more than 50 feet.
and we'll just propel the thing up the PVC pipe into the thing, and we're pretty good.
Ace says, I don't know much about artesian well water, and I don't know whether we can actually tap that dry or whatever. I've never tried to empty 8,500 gallons of it into a tanker.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Ace, is it like he sounds like he's about to agree, and then he, pauses and gives, an introspective look as well, huh. Didn't you say that thing used to be full of acetone?
Yeah, we emptied it out 2 days ago. Me and Fletch. We've been letting it dry out.
Right.
So probably what would happen is we would use some water that we have that's some water, and we'd clean it out. At least spray the insides of it with water so it would drain out. You know
Ace
what I mean?
says, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'm back, sorry.
I mean, I don't think we're going to be drinking out of the water that we're getting into the truck. I thought that was going into the hydroponics thing of Potman's.
Yeah, that was the idea, although having a more convenient water supply, and then having to refill that irregularly instead of, walking out here with buckets and jugs every few days would definitely be more convenient.
Yeah. Which is why I think filling up the tanker truck full of water and then, coming...
On the flip side, using the water is going to be pretty difficult given the fact that the only person who said he needed it, his hands are tied.
Sounds like we need someone else to start reading up on that science manual thing.
We'll have to talk about it at the next meeting.
That's unfortunate, yeah.
Be another reason to head to the library and grab some basics on an all variety of subjects.
We should probably go to the library.
Probably.
Probably.
Question is, when do we want to do that?
And he says, well, by this point, we'd head back out there. Probably get back before nightfall. Probably. Assuming we didn't run into any, well, that's a stupid assumption, so probably.
Alright.
He shrugs. You're the driver.
I could do it tonight. I've driven well enough today. I know those roads decently well.
Just a question of whether we should do it at night.
The only issue is the lack of vision.
That's a pretty important issue.
Yeah. And there's gonna be no street lights, so that would be a double issue.
There'll definitely be people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a triple-edged sword.
But on the other hand, once we actually get out of the car and start moving around, we could be reasonably assumed for. We could perform stealthily.
Ace looks at Tony. Could we?
We could try.
Yeah. You see, they're gonna hear the vehicle engine, though, right, Tony?
That is a good point. I'll think of something.
Unless you can make like a silent running, he gestures, Tokyo import truck thing. Which
Tony's just gonna get a very pensive look and start.
Don't tell him thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna start rubbing his chin.
Tony really doesn't have an idea for how he would make the vehicle run completely silent, given, how the engine functions.
But by God, he'll try.
I mean...
Could he make it quieter?
I mean, you'd have to get, the car would have to run on something like electricity or solar
energy. Screw a suppressor on the muffler.
Muffle. Is it the suppressed muffle?
Well, I mean, it'll suppress the flash, if nothing else.
I mean, I could turn it into I could do a kind of difficult, but I could probably take the engine out and turn it into an electric engine. But we need to
convert a gas-powered engine to an electric engine?
No, got the entire thing is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, then you'd have to find, I think that's pretty cutting edge for 1999.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is pushing the envelope in 1999.
Maybe we could take some of those photovoltaic cells from the roof that are not being used and slap them on the roof of this thing, and then
that sounds really dumb.
That's why Tony's thinking of it.
Tony has no idea how to go about the process. He's never done any work or really even heard of photovoltaic cells until he arrived at Fort Drake and had Riggs explain the basics of it.
So we have to ask Riggs to do it.
That thought crosses your mind.
But I have to ask Starscream to do something.
That thought also crosses your mind.
Damn it. Yeah, we can't really make the truck silent. Not with that extensive modifications that we don't have the time or the expertise to do.
The fact remains, then, that any attempt at stealth will be thrown off by us traveling somewhere in this vehicle. It would summon any zombies.
So we should probably go in during the day then, when we'd have the best sight lines.
Yes.
All
Especially since the zombies have some sort of sixth sense about them that allows them to pinpoint people anyway.
All right.
Radar.
Wait a minute. We don't need the tanker truck anymore.
What?
Huh?
We have a fucking tarp. We have a truck with a bed. My God, we'll make a redneck hot tub.
Hey,
God.
what?
Ace blinks and actually slides his sunglasses off his face so that he can put his face in his hands.
A small collection of batteries just fall out of my pocket.
Are you a kleptomaniac?
Close.
There's no stealing anymore right now, Tony.
No?
I don't
Question
think-
mark?
I don't think the owner of Lowe's is going to come after us.
Oh, okay. Alright. It was just okay.
They're talking to him like he's Zane.
Well, did we actually bring the tarp with us, Tony?
Uh,
Or one of the tarps?
Nope. It was just an idea.
Sure, just an idea.
Go. I'll keep it to myself.
A bad idea.
Alright, well, we've got a full bucket of fresh water. What do we do now?
Well, Ace bends down to the artesian well spigot, he uncorks it, begins washing his hands, cleaning his face, and says, "I don't know. Are there any other ideas that you had while we were here? There does appear to be a school. Perhaps there could be some sort of useful items or materials in there. Might get some sort of the cafeteria stuff."
I had a bad experience in a school once.
Out of character. Didn't we light that on fire?
Yeah, Fletch lit that on fire.
The artesian one?
Yup. Sure
I had
was.
a bad. Tony's just gonna say I had a bad experience in a school once.
I would assume so. That's why you went into selling
Ace
cars.
blinks and looks at Tony and says, "Go on."
I was shot with the shotgun in that very school.
He says, "Oh, right. Yeah, that was mentioned. That's why we didn't end up clearing it. Wait, you were shot in that?
Yeah.
I thought Fletch said..." And he says, "Oh, I don't remember perfectly. I thought it was lit on fire somehow."
Yeah, he lit it on fire.
Oh.
I was
Yeah.
kind of unconscious at the time, so I don't remember much.
Huh.
There might be stuff in there, but if it burned for a couple of days, if I remember correctly, so I don't know if there's anything in there.
Hmm.
We could check.
Green beans have staying power.
He shrugs and says, "Someone shooting you in there would be the more interesting query."
Yeah, maybe we could find some remnants of whatever they had, or maybe information. I don't know. It's worth a look.
He shrugs.
It's worth
and
a
says,
look.
I don't know. I was just merely noting the possibility of other people, but that was, a month ago now?
Something like that.
Apparently before your creepy crazy zombie people showed up. The cult one, not the normal ones.
Well, we ran into the cult before that.
That person could be long gone or dead, either by this cult or whatever that was here, or... I don't know.
Well, is there anything else in Artesia? I know we've already scoured the police station, and that was pretty much the only other...
Well, remember that this is not the first time you've been here to scavenge.
Yeah, I understand that. We pretty much have cleared this place out.
Yes.
And so pretty much the only place we actually haven't cleared out was the school, and that was gutted by a fire.
Yeah.
There's still stuff that burned stuff.
Yeah. Right. Let's spend like 5 minutes poking around the school, and then we'll head back.
You know, that's not to say that there couldn't possibly be anything that would have survived the fire, you know.
Not to mention areas where the fire might not have spread.
It's true.
That's what I'm saying. If you find 5 minutes and if things start looking interesting, hey, maybe we'll stay longer.
Any sort of flame-resistant area, or, the school might have been made out of asbestos.
Not to mention the fact that schools tend to be made out of cheap-ass cinder blocks instead of things like wood.
Yeah.
Well, let's...
All told, the exterior of the school structure looks... I mean, you can obviously tell by looking at the building that, yeah, that burned. But it didn't burn down. You've, looking in, got, the skeletal remnants and infrastructure of what used to be a school that served, all grade levels. But with, a cursory look, I mean, it's possible there could be something buried within there that did not get ruined by the fire. The sprinkler system didn't activate. So, who can say?
All right.
The structure of it still exists.
Let's start poking around. Maybe we'll find some.
Let's start poking and see if it collapses.
Alright, this will end up being a scavenging roll at a -6 penalty.
Perception plus scavenging?
Yes.
Hooray, I'm rolling a 1d10.
-1.
If there was anything here, someone else has already taken it. Perhaps the cultists might have. Could have been where they got some of their food. This place looks trashed.
David took the desks, or they burnt down, one of the two.
Yeah, that thinking back on it, that stack of flammable materials that you saw out there probably didn't have anything to do with the school since it was flammable. It probably already burned.
Well, we can pretty much write off the rest of Artesia then, probably. Aside from the well, anyways. Alright. Back in the truck, we're going back to Fort Drake.
Okay. You do just that. Go ahead and deduct some mileage as you cruise on back. Back on the roof. As the trip slowly happens. Okay, so let me get this straight. Lumber Consortium. That's the reason.
Yep.
There are no other reasons.
I mean, that's the big one.
The big reason why marijuana was outlawed was due to the lumber consortiums.
Yep.
What does that even mean?
What do you mean? What's that even mean?
Lumber consortium.
Oh, it's a bunch of people that own lumber mills who paid a big bribe to senators.
They have that kind of power?
Rich people are powerful.
I didn't realize that lumber people were that powerful.
How much stuff do you own that's made out of wood or paper or both?
Not that much anymore.
Well, how much did you own?
Zane pauses and gives this genuine consideration.
I mean, remember, most houses are made with, like, wood beams and stuff supporting them.
And I guess the pro-marijuana lobbyists didn't have that kind of money?
Because most people weren't using marijuana for stuff yet. It was starting to look promising, which is why they bribed them to kill it.
Oh. But then marijuana's illegal, but not the hemp plant itself, right?
Right, but that sort of put a whole kibosh on the whole thing.
A kibosh? A what?
It made it look bad to people. It stopped it.
Missy says context clue, Zane. Oh. What? Missy shakes her head. Okay, so the lumber people.
Yep.
They heard about like this promising thing called hemp that could do the stuff that lumber did.
But cheaper.
But cheaper, and the lumber people said no.
Because that might lose them money.
Instead of diversifying into hemp.
Yep.
We would have hemp mills.
Probably not. Mills are for sawing things.
Okay.
But, yeah, kind of like that.
So we would have hemp plants and hemp plants?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
How do you process hemp?
I think that you split the stalk open and pull out the fibers.
Okay. Don't they make rope out of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of many examples of the wonderful things that hemp can do.
Missy says, I used to use a lotion back before all of this that was hemp.
Yeah. It's starting to catch back on again in a lot of things because people are finally realizing that, weed being illegal is stupid.
Oh, well, I guess that's not much of a problem anymore, is it?
Nope.
Yeah. Maybe this whole apocalyptic overthrow of the government has its merits.
Not worth it.
Zane says, yeah, you're probably right. Besides, you were breaking the law anyway.
Yeah.
You probably did that for fun, didn't you? So you don't get that enjoyment anymore because there's no more laws to break. That's why you killed Crash. To relive that experience of breaking the law again by killing someone. I don't even know why I talked to you anyway. Grace said you're a murderer. Leave me alone!
Potman just sort of shuts up and slumps back in silence.
Alright. The other three arrive once again at the towers.
So I was like, Potman.
Yeah.
Good
What
times.
did you tell him to do?
Well, he wanted a car, and I wasn't going to sell him another car because it was with his third one in a week that he would have wrecked, because that's what Potman does to every single one of my cars. Wrecks them.
Says, wait, the third one in a week?
Yeah. Listen, I did a lot of unscrupulous things.
Are you sure they wrecked because of pilot error?
Have you seen Potman drive?
I've seen you drive.
Yes.
I have the bruises to show for it.
True. Everyone has an off day.
I was expecting that to go somewhere different. I was expecting
So was
everyone's
Ace.
got some bruises from me driving.
He says, sure. Some off days are easier to recover from than others.
Okay.
Maybe
But,
Potman just had off days 3 times a week.
That would explain a lot. That would explain a lot.
I mean, he doesn't seem like the most mentally stable individual if you look at it.
Oh, he wasn't mentally stable to begin with.
No.
Maybe that's the reason why I hung out with him.
Still, I did think he had a good head on his shoulders. Except for the company he kept.
Burn!
Yeah, Cat was always weird.
It's neither here nor there now. Can't change it.
Nope.
In the Yeti, right?
Yes, the Eddie.
But you're the one who has all these personal stories about Eugene selling him cars. From the way the way I heard it told, Cat didn't meet you folks until later.
No.
You're the one he's known for so long.
Yeah. This whole thing started while we were coming back from Atlantic City.
Ah.
Nice weekend with a bunch of friends.
Ah.
Drove through a little town called Summer Meadow where this all started.
Summer Meadow, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Summer Meadow, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Ace's like face, he's bemused, he's joking, and Trusty Tony, who's so observant, actually catches like a flick, like a perplexed flick on his face, but it only lasts for a few seconds before Ace shakes it off and resumes his jovial nature.
Trusty Tony will shrug.
Alright.
Well, here's the base.
Alright. Well, you have fun doing whatever it is that you do, Tony.
Sure. Oh, boy.
See you tomorrow for a library run?
Yeah.
Alright.
Bright and early.
Bright and early.
11 a.m. sharp.
If only I had a working timepiece.
If only we all had a working timepiece.
I'm sure.
I do have a PDA.
Shush.
He says, "Oh, PDA."
Yeah, there were a bunch of them down there. Don't you remember? In the ceiling closet.
Oh yeah, we still need to get that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Ace nods. Yeah, that stuff.
Yep.
You got it working.
Oh yeah. I had a few batteries on me.
Oh hell, that's all they require. I guess. I've never really used one of those. Can it do anything for us?
Right now, not too much. I mean, if I were to get a couple of them working, we could send messages between the things, maybe like in visual
It
range.
can answer my email wirelessly and communicate with each other with lasers on a clear day.
As a reminder from the book, those things can send messages silently, like a few feet away, to like another PDA.
Yeah.
You can send messages between PDAs
Mm-hmm.
if you've got line of sight to each other.